Bro, nobody's ever asked me that question before. It's kind of emotional. I'm gonna have to talk about this in therapy today.
Oh, I'm so
The
sorry.
young, no, 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 it's great. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Too many decisions being made on my behalf. I've been staring out the window. You sit back and watch me crash. Is there any hope for closure while I'm burying my past? And every time I walk away, you stab me in the back. You're just a control freak, trying to control me. I feel your hands around my throat.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Your obsession is hurting me, your
Hey,
ritual.
welcome back to my channel. I'm Alex Alicia, your host of The New Rock Show, and the countdown is on right now for Broadside's fifth studio album. Nowhere at Last is yours on the 10th of April, and I'm so excited to be chatting all about it today with the wonderful frontman himself, Oliver Baxxter. Hello!
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for that. I can't believe we are literally less than 2 weeks away from the album. It's kind of sickening, actually.
9 days away. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
I mean, 9 days, that is so soon. And like I've just mentioned, it's your fifth one. So let's just get straight into that. What's kind of
yeah.
going on in your camp right now, Oliver? Like, is it kind of cool, calm, collected vibes with Broadside before an album release, or is it kind of chaotic? What's it like?
It's pretty much chaotic from start to finish. But I think by design, I like to put a lot on my back, and then be dramatic about it. So by the time the album comes off, I can just be like, "Oh wow, I deserve this." No,
Sure.
but it's kind of terrifying right now. We're doing the PR stuff, and it's finally feeling like human and not a secret anymore because we've been working on it for a year plus. So it just feels like some sort of taboo secret that we've been keeping, and
Yeah.
and now we're getting to actually talk about the it. So it feels insane, but it feels, yeah, like there's always those like, oh shit, is it going to perform, or those sorts of things popping up, but
Yeah.
it's less intense this time around. I'll say it. The internet is seemingly liking what we're doing. So
Oh, for sure. I mean, gosh,
mhm.
all I see is people so excited about this new release. I'm one of them too, and I feel super, super lucky because I've been streaming it earlier today. Your lovely PR people sent it to me
That's
for
awesome.
an early listen, and honestly, Oliver, I just want to say, like, and I'm not just saying this, it's phenomenal start to finish. Like, all 12 tracks are absolute bangers. I've got so many favorites, and it changes on the regs, like it's been on repeat. What
Really?
about for you? What's your favorite thing about this album so far? Like right now, it might change once it's out and
Yeah.
you get to sit with it. But in the lead up right now, what you're most excited about this record?
I feel like this is our fifth record in. I feel like this is the first Broadside album. I believe we put out records before. I mean, we have put out records before,
Yeah.
but I do feel I do feel as if this is like what we've been striving towards. I think the marketing's there, the sound is there, everything just feels like it was put together in the sense of start to finish. Whereas, like a lot of times in situations, it could just be filler tracks or you're trying to meet a deadline.
Mm.
But with Thriller, they were really gracious in letting us take our time. Like we actually wrote an entire album and then scrapped it and then wrote this album. So yeah, they've given us tons of opportunity to really fine tune the entire process. So we were able to treat the whole thing like every song feels like a single because essentially it was written as a single.
Hmm.
So that's what keeps it exciting. I'm really excited to share the random production that's in the record. We're really proud of it. There's lots of like exciting moments, whether it's like a dancey part or like a
Mm. Yeah.
crazy like hyper poppy thing.
Hmm.
I think that sort of thing is interesting and engaging, especially since, let's be honest, a lot of music can just be so boring and sound the same, and we're guilty of that as well. So it's nice to add in elements that are exciting, like a little earworm for the consumer of music. But yeah, I'm really excited, particularly for a few songs. One of my favorite songs on the album is called "Is This It?" It's just a general introspective question on questioning the monotony of life, and I
Mm.
like the simplicity of that.
It's a
It's
beautiful
kind of
way
the
to close things out as well.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It
Yeah.
feels like it's a good. If this were to be the last Broadside record
Mhm.
album, and I were to say that it ended with a song like this, and it were to sit with that, it is a sentiment of reflection, especially because there are elements in the record that are fun and dancey,
Mhm.
and it's not so introspective and arty. on this one, except for the last track. It sits with people who want to consume the album start to finish. I think it'll be a nice little like, oh wow, it's a nice
Yeah.
little send off. Give somebody a moment when it's just them, and I feel like it's a gift that really you don't forget sometimes. You know, it's like when you're in a car and you're like you hear a noise in a song
Yeah,
and you're like,
sure.
wait for it, you know, and your friend's like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
It could be you know ADHD locking in on that sound, but it could also be that you're just connecting with a moment, and I think that's beautiful, especially if it is just a sound or something like that. So we really do hope to accomplish that, and we're really excited to share that stuff in a long-winded way. That's what we're excited to share. Sorry.
No, it's great. I love the detail and the depth you just like shared with me
Mm,
there, because that's really interesting as well. I like that you mentioned that, and also shout out Thriller Records, which is where
shout out.
the record is being released from. When you said that you wrote like an album's worth of material and then that went and you started again, what actually happens with Broadside singles, demos, or just ideas in general? Like what do you do with them as a band? Like, do you like to keep them, and do we ever hear them in the future? Like,
Mm.
has that been a thing? What happens with those spares?
Yeah, sometimes they'll make like a random um, like a random event. Like we have to curate projects in many ways. So for instance, we started doing like a VIP last year, but we didn't really just want to do like a photo thing.
Hmm.
So what we offered was we had two a song that's never been out, and then we did an acoustic version of a song which we've never done specifically broken down a song acoustically, and we
Hmm.
put it on a 7 inch, and that's the only way that it's available. So like there are songs out there that we've recorded that aren't even online. They just are on a random 7 inch from a like 10 people VIP in like
Yeah,
a year
that's
ago.
amazing. It's like a
So we
collector's
let
edition.
yeah we
Very
love to do
special.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Add in elements there, but with Thriller, I'm assuming because they want to make you the best, and if the record does well, I'm sure that there'll be some sort of deluxe if the people really like the record and they seen value for more stuff. Well, there's more stuff, but the chances, like already, like I said, we threw away, but we'll probably just end up making new, which is hard to do. But
Mm.
I find that it's easier to create something than to fix something. Fixing
Yeah.
something is whether in life,
Yeah.
it's like, or, and on paper, it's like, I'd much rather create than fix. That's
Mm.
just fixing. We're not put here to repair.
No, I love that philosophy on life. And Oliver,
Mm,
like, one other thing I want to kind of ask you about, like, that whole process of making a record, because you're on your fifth one, which we're about to hear, and, it's just like, it's so wonderful. But how do you actually know when an album is done, it's ready, and, you want to share it with the world? Like, are you looking for certain
mm,
barometers to measure against? What's it like in the
mm.
studio for Broadside when you go, this is ready now, let's do it?
I think the most important thing is that we want to make sure that there's a strong title track. So that's always something that we've been consistent with.
Hmm.
And I just want to make sure that every element has been explored when we're in the studio. So there's this level of, did we get all our ideas out? And if it's yeah, then I have a hard stance on just leave. Then you don't need to sit there, because what happens is you just overthink it and you add more, this, that, and the other. I think the truth about any creative person is that it's a curse, because your mind naturally sees the beauty in wanting to add, take away, change something, and it's often, I think, disguised as like overthinking or like wanting to do too much.
Mm.
Or but I think the reality is that you just it is possible to ruin something by doing too much. There's truth in a feeling of it's never going to be over. So I think with any creative person is, I think that they've understand it. You probably understand this, that nothing ever feels good enough and nothing ever feels ready.
Hmm.
Even the thing that you've finished, you're like, uh, I messed something, I misspelled something, I left the hair dryer on. Like it's never like, I was,
Yeah.
I did the thing.
Yeah.
And so I think naturally the process in which we've been having the past couple of years is to leave it
Mm-hmm.
and let it be. Leave and live and let live, you
Yeah.
know? Because, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you, I ruin so many things by doing too much. Like, I'll be like, cool, this is great. I'll go back in, ruin it with paint, a color, maybe talking too much. It's just a trope that I have, just
Yeah.
too much, just slightly too much.
Yeah.
So there's so much power in learning to go, this is done because
Yeah.
I say it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And only you, the creator, have the ability to say that, you know?
Yeah. That's the exciting thing I think about being an artist in any kind of form. And it's I think it's very similar to, I don't know, like if you're scrolling on Netflix and you're looking for a movie and you think you found one, but then you go, there's so much choice here, let me just see if there's another one that tops it, and then you keep
Yeah,
looking
exactly.
for something that might be better. It's
Might
like
top it.
that. Yeah, and it's so addictive as well. But yeah, I think what you've landed on with this release is so incredible. I am so excited for everyone to hear it in its entirety. For me personally, I am such a lover of albums, and I love the fact that your band is keeping that, alive and well, that art form of an album. And in a world like with streaming, like it's so easy to single, and you are creating this full masterpiece, and I think that's wonderful. And it's coming out on vinyl, and I collect vinyl, and I love that about you guys. And I just wonder what albums mean to you, and how special it is every time you find that your own piece of art is there in front of you on a physical form. Like, does that feeling ever go away? Like, what's it like?
Honestly, it's probably I wasn't I didn't grow up in the traditional home of like following like a sports or like cooking or any sort of like extracurricular activities.
Mm-hmm.
In my house, it was very just like you're alone, even when you're together. So for me, having the albums on the wall, I say this sometimes when I'm a little drunk, yes, but I say this often that I feel so good knowing that like after I go, there's a chance that I won't ever really go because I tried to connect to this world through art and through making music. And maybe in 100 years, somebody will find that song and do some sort of alien TikTok dance to it or whatever. But I think the reality is that at the end of this life, I will have tried to connect and to bring people together, even if it's just in thought.
Mm.
So I feel like it never gets, for me personally, I never get over the holding a physical piece of something that you've created because I feel, and not to be so cringe, but I feel as if most of my life I never really had anything to be proud of. You know what I mean? So to be like, oh, I tried, it's like a true testament of I'm living and trying the human experience right now. And here's proof. Here's proof.
Oh my gosh,
I
you're
was
so
reviewing the
prepared.
CD. I know. We got the CDs in today, and I was just reviewing these versus the vinyl. I'm still waiting for my vinyl, so
Can you give a sneak peek just to let us
yeah, of
have a look?
course. Yeah,
You
so
want to
here we
show
go.
us?
We got the
Oh,
CD
look at
here,
that artwork as well. Incredible.
dude. We got this
Oh,
beautiful, yeah, incredible '90s older brother core ass CD. Let me pop this out.
cool.
Got the new logo,
Love.
and then hold on, this is sick too. Oh, and then this is crazy. So this slides out of here,
Yeah.
out of this little front thing here, Shibao. And then
Uh-huh.
look at this gorgeous thing, man. So this side, it's all of our like little symbols and stuff from the singles.
Yeah.
And then on this side, it's a different
Ooh.
skyline.
I love
Yep.
it. Look at that.
I
Look how
know.
much
Look.
detail. Like, this is why, please, I encourage anyone, please go and get your copy. Whether it's the vinyl, it's the CD, whatever your
Yeah.
preferred platform, please go and get this record, because it's so good. Oliver, it's great. And that looks amazing
Thank
as
you.
well. And yeah, I can
Thank you.
see your face lighting up. For you, music, like, what does music mean to you? Because when you talk about it, I can see it means everything to you. You seem like you've got a really beautiful, like, spiritual connection with
Mm,
this world that you're in. If I said to you after 13 years of this band, like, what thoughts and feelings come to mind when I say Broadside? What
yeah.
would you say?
Agony for sure.
Mm.
No. I This life
The suffering
touring
of a
is
musician.
yeah, the suffering. No, this life has taught me so much about what it means to simply like pick up a microphone and go, can I distract you guys for 30 minutes? And I mean, I just kind of stepped forward blindly into it, as most band members do, and it's not even about like whether you're a reader, a cook, you know, a therapist, you know, you teach at uni, huh? You got to use the language. Uh, you know, there's this sentiment of I have to be the best, I have to be great at it, and I think even if you're like that's not my personality, we're all aspiring to live and do something, progress forward. We're not simply you know, pieces of dirt. Unfortunately, we have something to pursue forward in this life, and
Mhm.
so I feel like when I talk about music or just creating in general, I think it's hilarious to me because, well, truly, you're just. It's hilarious that I can go on tour and cry and talk to people and make art and connect with people through something that we've created. And then I can go to the grocery store and get bullied by like a 60-year-old man who's like, I don't give a shit who you are. You're ugly, you know, or whatever it is. And you're like, oh, like it's so humbling and humanizing to realize that just because it's your life and your dream, it doesn't mean that it should come at the cost of the reality of others. And so when I think about Broadside to me is it saved my life in the sense of it gave me purpose and connection to this world. And then I think of how silly it is that I've we've created something that really comes at the cost of us continuing to do it. Like if we stop it, then it will go away and fizzle away with noise. And there'll be some people that are like, "Oh, I missed whatever, whatever." But the reality of life is that we progress. People
Mm.
are born into this life. New bands come along every day. And so I think as of right now, being in it, being uncertain, being 37 years old and being like, I'm a touring musician that's actively trying to take that next level in my career. Genuinely, I'm terrified because I never had a father. So I don't know what it looks like to be a man in this world. And I don't know what it looks like to ask another adult man, another adult in general, a figure, a father figure, whoever that is, right? I don't know what it's like to go, all right, I did that. Now what do I do?
Mm.
I think so. You're unexcited. And when I think about Broadside, I think this has made me a person. Like, this has made me a person that people actually like and want to talk to and be around. And, but I think sometimes it scares me because I feel like sometimes I got lucky, you know, with this. But so I think right now I can't really imagine. I can't really answer your question of what it feels like when I think about Broadside, but I know that ultimately when I get to a point in life and I reflect on back on all this, I can only pray that there isn't a single bit of, oh, but that was tough, you know.
Mm.
Sleeping in a van for 11 years was tough, you know,
Yeah.
like because none of that ultimately matters. This is incredible that I was just a nothing, poor white trash boy. And then last month I was in Australia. Like life has given me a gift to just travel and be, but I'm just ready to take it to that next level so I can feel like I belong there because it's starting to feel like we're a new band again because we've reached new heights.
Mhm.
But it's like, I don't know if that makes any sense. It's just like,
It does.
it's not anxiety. Like when you first start being in a band, there's this anxiety of like, what if I blah, blah, blah. Well, it's like, dude, I've fallen. I've said crazy shit on stage. All the bad stuff has happened. Our band's been broken into, all this stuff.
Mm.
And you learn that. And so the one thing that we have throughout all of this and throughout years is the wisdom of failure.
Mm.
So it's not, I'm not afraid of if I'll look back on this and regret it, but I am afraid that that I'm unable to see it right now as it's happening.
I just want to say thank you so much, Oliver, for sharing that with me because, that was such a personal look into, what this band does actually mean to you. I think you answered the question really well. And I do want to congratulate you on everything that you've been achieving. And you should be so proud of yourself. And,
Thank you.
I just like, when I hear that you feel that way about music, it really does like lend itself to what I'm hearing when I listen to the record, because you are so honest when you speak to me even now about, your thoughts, your feelings, and I really feel that like translate through the songs. And as a songwriter, chef's kiss. And I just I do just want to say that. And like with this particular album, like how cathartic is it for you as a songwriter to put such intense thoughts and feelings, out to the world, and know that the public are gonna hear them or interpret them how they want? What is that like for you? Because you mentioned how a couple of things kind of scare you a little bit. Is that part of the scariness as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there were, the first time I ever started singing about sex, I was like, oh, this is it. People hate me. And then I realized I was like, this is insane. I've created a bubble that doesn't even exist. I've never even had these conversations with myself. So
Mm.
like that's just one element of the subject matter, but not trying to be a total creep here, okay? But
All good.
so just certain elements of just life, right? The human experience I was afraid to touch on. So
Mm.
I think it helps me make sense of how I'm actually feeling
Mm.
because, you know, obviously through other methods like therapy and stuff like that, but genuinely, one of the most humanizing experiences I've ever had is when I woke up on the road and it was just a strange day, and I got a text about my grandmother who had just passed. And then I went and I played the show that night. We were on a huge tour, and it was like a 3,000 cap room. We were opening for this sick band, and the crowd was really there. And then for a moment, I just kind of went blank, and I just said, this next song's for my Nana. And then everybody cheered. And then I thought for a second, oh, like they they don't. I'm not gonna say like she passed away or whatnot, but there was a moment where people were just celebrating the idea of a woman named Nana, and it was such a like, oh, whoa, I just got a free gift from these people. And so I think making music actually helps me translate how I'm feeling, because it helps really go, can someone else understand this sentiment without feeling like miserable about themselves? And also, can they shake ass to it? Because if they can shake ass while they're crying, like this is a huge, you know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah,
um,
you nailed
no,
it for sure. Because that is the
that's
vibe. That really is the vibe. Oliver, it's so cool. And I just like, on that note as well. Like for anybody that's like watching and listen to this before the album comes out, like what would you say, maybe one or two words would be that would only make sense once they hear this record in full? Like, is there a couple of words that stand out to you as like really descriptive ways of kind of saying, yeah, this is what this album encompasses, but it only makes sense after you've heard it start to finish?
Yeah, I've been saying this, how to a lot of people have been asking me for a quote for the album, and I've
Ah,
just been saying it. So the concept of nowhere, to be nowhere and to have nowhere to be is true bliss. The concept is to escape,
mm-hmm.
to embrace, and to be nowhere. And I feel like that isn't for a long time, you pursue life and you want to make it the best, you want to be the best or overcome your anxieties, stresses, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is I think all of us just want to be nowhere, but to feel everything. And so that's all it is. It's just to be nowhere, to seek silence is to be probably the most intelligent form of human you can be, is to just observe yourself
Yeah,
from outside of yourself and to seek bliss through nothing. So
yeah,
yeah, say to seek the nothingness, and that's truly where a lot of the calm is.
yeah,
And that's what this record generally is striving for. It's not themed around that, but the concept is loosely there as a band and where we are. And the visual of the album is more so the strive of the band,
yeah,
like long
yeah.
stepping forward blindly through a path into
Mm-hmm.
finally get into the viewer, to
Ah,
finally meet. the viewer.
Yep. I just want to mention one more time as well, of
Yeah.
course, Nowhere at Last, out on the 10th
Mm,
of April, 9 days today. This is so
so
exciting.
crazy.
And you just
I
mentioned
know.
as well, like the kind of like aesthetic of the whole record too. And
Yeah.
we're seeing that through like music vids like, from Dark Passenger and Control Freak. And I really do love that whole space kind of like the black and
Yeah.
white Beetlejuice room. Like it's very like trippy. I love it. I think it's so cool. And I just want to shout out that people should go and check out the music vids if they've not seen them yet. There's a couple of lyric videos on there as well for some of the singles that you've released. And I checked out, like the fact that there's so many people working with you to make this special, like your directors, your editors, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I like the little tag that you do kind of highlight, like this is not AI, this is like real human hard work. And
Hmm.
I just wondered if you got any thoughts on that as a musician and how AI has been affecting bands and things at the minute. Have you got anything that you would love to put across to the people
Mm.
about that?
Yeah, I have two major things. So I live on the east coast of the states. I live in a place called Virginia, and it's along the lines of that is the Blue Ridge Mountains. So we just have a natural, beautiful landscape, and actually a huge problem here is that we have all these. Can I have a potty mouth on this
You
podcast?
can have a potty mouth.
Okay. We have all these
Rock and roll.
fucking outsiders, okay, buying up our mountainscape and our land so they can put data centers so people can save their searches on Google. Okay. And though we're in a situation, so I one that it's horrendous to me to think that
Mm,
billionaires that have never been here, never hiked, never picked up a beautiful piece of trash or smelled the beautiful air wisping through the wind, the trees,
mm,
those people are just shredding it down so they can have big gray buildings with nobody in them to store data. So there's that element. And then AI as a concept, anything that rapidly progresses the human evaluational side of things, but never rapidly progresses the human existence side of things, I think is a problem.
mm,
It's there's a tool, and then when you take the tool and you use it for something else, it becomes a problem, right? A hammer is a hammer when you're doing construction, but a hammer is a weapon anytime outside of that.
mm.
So the concept of needing to rapidly, sorry, I'm pretty nerdy about this, needing to rapidly receive information, human beings are not, as of yet, built to store that information. So what you're actually receiving is the truth,
Mm,
but you're not maintaining the truth. It starts to create this immediate, rapid sensation. We see it with, we see it in animals, but we also see it in like children
mm.
with devices and all these other crazy dopamine rushing elements. So I think AI as a tool, it's only a matter of time before we were going to land on something that kind of automatically. But if we're going to talk about AI as a replacement, I think it's I think it's tragic. I think it's shameful, and I think it's a true pain because all AI is really doing is just taking all the time that you would need to learn about something and just kind of giving you bits and pieces of a bunch of broken down shit.
Yeah.
So my relationship with it is tough because it's in things, like it's
Yeah, that's
in
the thing. You
apps.
can't get
It's
away from it,
yeah,
can you?
you're not bigger than it.
That's
But
scary.
you're not bigger than it. And I think that's the problem is that you are the host. We are the hosts. Um, and AI is a plague that is sucking on the host.
Yeah.
It knows nothing of the human existence. But I
Oh,
will say beautifully, other than what's been documented, I will say beautifully, though, the one thing that we truly do still have is the ability to touch and to feel
yeah. Our
and to make
senses.
out. I don't see any AI robots making out. Yeah, we've got our senses, and then and until they start putting, figuring out ways to, I, I don't know, man. The AI thing is scary because the wars thing is scary, and the war
Mm,
thing is scary because the information thing is scary.
yeah.
So it
Yeah.
sucks, but it only really down any. I'll say this to any artist that's using it to more than just generate an idea or maybe inspire. I guess you can find it. Like I'll play devil's advocate. Maybe that's what people are using it for. Anybody that's using it more than that, it's a shame because any positive or immediate payoff that comes from that ultimately will be much like the information. It will be situational, it'll be temporary.
Mm.
Um, so it's a shame because there are things in this life that are meant to be made with heart, and because it's what makes you cry in the movies. That's what makes you stop in a book and go, "Oh my God!" It's
Yeah.
what makes you see an old man on the street and think, "I wonder if he's alone or if he has someone."
Yeah.
It's there's heart in these moments. So
Mm-hmm.
I think as long as that's a need for humans consumption, the good ones, a lot of the bad ones can consume heartless shit. But I feel like we'll be all right. But
Yeah,
I agree with you. It's fucking terrifying, man.
it is.
Especially with just the ability to get answers. I can't
Mm.
imagine when I was a kid, like
Yeah,
like I told you, I felt lonely. Imagine if in my worst days, I
I
wasn't
know.
lonely.
Yeah, I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
it's just like it's so crazy, and it's just gutting to see it infiltrating so much now into music, because
Hmm.
I think music is one of those really special things that we get as humans to, like you
Yeah,
say, to have connection and to feel things, and so it's just like, oh, I would rather it not exist, really, but it is what
yeah,
it is. And I mean, it can be beneficial, but also when it's not
yeah.
used to the right, like you say, at the right
Mm,
whatever. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm always curious about artists' perspectives themselves on that, and how it impacts them. I
Thank you.
can't not mention the tours that you've got coming up, because
Oh
I
yeah, yeah, yeah.
know if anybody wants to catch any of these songs live, which I'm sure we'll be hearing them live pretty
Oh yeah.
soon. You've got like tour dates in the US in April. You're
Mm,
doing Europe in May, and then Slam Dunk Festival May as
I
well.
know.
Back to the UK, and isn't it the first time after that where you're going to be doing 3 headline shows, and you haven't headlined here in the UK in 8 years?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're
Insane.
super excited about that. So, and like the numbers are doing really well. Like tickets are moving for the headlining shows, which got me excited because I was like, maybe there's gonna be too much going on. People don't want to spend money. I get it, it's expensive. But so that's really exciting that
Mm.
we're gonna be able to hang out with a bunch of people over there. Yeah, I feel like we need dual citizenship at this point. The amount of love we put into the UK,
Yeah.
and the amount that they give back, I'm like, somewhere along the line.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, we're super excited with the Hands Like Houses tour. Slam Dunk's gonna be crazy, and
Mm.
then the headlines should be great. And yeah, by then the record will be out. So
I
insanity.
know. I could ask you as well, like for anybody who's going to be at Slammy D, as I like to call
Yeah.
it. I'll be at the lead show, and I cannot wait to come and catch your band. I haven't seen you live yet, actually, and I'm
Oh,
so
great.
excited to see you live, in person. But I've only seen videos, and it's not the same. It's like AI. It's like seeing
Yeah,
it through a
exactly.
screen. It's not the same. I need the real life connection.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anyone's going to come over and catch you on the Key Club stage at Slam Dunk, what is in store? And are you going to bring out the mustache for us from the Control Freak video? Who
You
knows?
know what? I did think about bringing out that damn mustache. I still have it somewhere. It's like I thought I threw it away, but it got stuck on the hanger in the suit that I was wearing. I was like,
It
a
just
part of me was
wanted
excited.
to stay with
Yeah.
you.
It was like, I want to be yours. I'm like, finally, finally. No, so what they can expect is, yeah, we just focus heavily on making sure that the value of money's there. So obviously the cost of a Slammy D ticket is really expensive, but we are gonna at least make you feel as if some of your money was justified. We're in a nice little time slot too, to where people are not having to sacrifice too much. So we're really
Yeah.
excited. We're really excited that, yeah, you can expect just great energy, come shake some ass, and just a good time. I really focus on just making sure that everybody there is just trying to have a good time. You know what I mean? So I think it's gonna be a really good time. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, because you're on like kind of mid-afternoon, so I think, yeah, it's going to be a great time. Hopefully the weather's nice for everyone too, because
Yeah,
this is England.
this is England. Yeah.
But what about when you're back here in the UK as well? Like, what do you look forward to doing? Have you got any like favorite snacks or places you want to check
Mm.
out? What's the vibe?
Yeah, absolutely. We're huge fans of the UK actually. We love to do a lot of anytime we have more opportunities, we try to do more parks and stuff like that. There's not too much hiking we found, but we found a
Right.
bunch of abandoned fields. One time we found some cows, natural cows just walking around. It's
You'll find
gorgeous.
that, yeah.
Yeah, but the classic get a little tipsy at the pub, after the show,
Yeah.
chat shit, hang out. We're really excited to get back to Manchester, Leeds, just everywhere. I genuinely, we've been putting in so much work at the UK for the past couple of years that
Yeah.
it just feels like we're starting to have friends over there. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
like a homecoming.
Yeah,
Honestly,
exactly.
there is such a buzz about you, and I've spoken to so many people like within the industry as well about how much we love your band, and I genuinely am a fan. I'm not even
Wow.
ashamed to say that to you because I am a fan of what you do, Oliver. So I'm
So
so
nice.
excited that you're here, and and a couple of final notes as well, just to wrap up. I just wondered
Yeah.
if you could say one thing to younger you and one thing to future you at this point in your life right now, what do you think you'd say to little Oliver and future Oliver?
To little Oliver, I would say, hmm. To future Oliver, I would say, we made it. Look at us. We made it. And then to younger Oliver, bro, nobody's ever asked me that question before. It's kind of emotional. I'm gonna have to talk about this in therapy today.
Oh, I'm so
To
sorry.
young, no, 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 it's great. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. To my younger self, I would say, to my younger self, I would say, there's value in being alone. Mm, yeah, that's what I would say.
What an incredible answer. Seriously, I just love how like connected emotionally you are to your
Mm,
surroundings, to this band, to the music. It's great, Oliver. I'm so happy for you and congratulations as well on the new album and I cannot wait for everyone's reaction to it. Have you got a message you would also love to send out to fans of Broadside? Anyone that's, not yet pre-ordered or has
yeah,
already? One, why should they pre-order this record if they haven't? And
yeah.
two, anyone that has and they already love your band, what would you love to say?
So one, if you haven't and you're interested and you give a shit, all right, let's consider this. People only listen to the dollar bill or the quid.
The
Okay.
quid.
Um, that's the reality. So you need to vote with whatever money you do or don't have. So if there's like a band or an artist out there and you want to support them and you have the extra funds to, buying merch, buying a single, anything like that, it does show the world and the people helping put the band out that you want to consume it. That's you voting with your dollar. That's what we call it, or quid.
Quid.
So that would really help us and show people like, hey, there's still a place here for Broadside, and I'm willing to pay for this type of band or song. And it's not so much to obviously we're not rich, the band isn't, but you know how it is. I mean, you got to show people and to get in front of people. It's a numbers game,
It
for
is, yeah.
some people, unless you're like, I don't know, really cool and hot and tall. I don't know. However it works, I don't know. But and then what was the second part of the question? Oh, if
Have you
they
just got a
to the
quick
fans that have
message
already, yeah, to the
just to
fans
wrap
that,
up?
yeah, I would say thank you so much for everything. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your place in my life, and thank you for giving a shit about live music.
Oliver, thank you so much for your time and for joining me on the New Rock Show.
Mm,
It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'm so excited to catch you at Slam Dunk Festival. Hopefully, see one of those headline shows here as well in the UK. I encourage everyone to
mm.
get tickets. And don't forget, pre order your copy right now of Nowhere at Last. It's yours on the 10th of April. Oliver, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. Hopefully we'll chat when you are at the show. But
Yes,
yeah,
I'll
get
see
in
you at
touch with
Slam
me. I'd
Dunk.
love to talk. Yeah,
Yes.
cool.
Okay, I'll see you there. Nice to meet you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Have a great
Likewise.
day.
Bye.
Bye.